They say it takes a village to raise a child. All the bands and venues, if a child is excluded from the bands and or venue, it could likely become a beast and resent these bands and venues. Then it will likely eventually return to destroy the band, venue, village that excluded it. Everyone can play, share, and everyone should play, share, often with each other. Once we are all able to share our sounds and intermingle between bands and venues in the infinite symphony of existence, we will further understand what it means to funk and to be funk. August 31st, 2022. Adding some thoughts I've saved in my phone. If you have a thought or idea and you don't take note of it or save it, it can very likely be forgotten and possibly could only be remembered under an assumption of recreated imagining of what it was rather than what it is or could have been. You must take action and create your then reality to historically view, construct, and experience the alternate desired future. Simple as thinking and taking action. We must take action now and unite together as a funk and continue expanding. That is not to say that if you don't, then you are wrong. This would fall under an argument of what actions or lack of are more helpful than other actions of doing or not doing within particular circumstances. My name is Cisneros, and I will be reading pages 61 through 70. Subsequently, when the band begins to make money or success, we should divide that income and success evenly and care for each other as ourselves. And if in the future we profit even more, we should redistribute it to everyone and everything that was part of the structure and or foundation. We are in this together, every brick, every crack. Because if you don't look back to repair the cracks, you'll be left with the results from your slacks. Again, remember to check in and reevaluate ourselves, each other, and everything. If you feel you are subjectively or objectively not existing to your fullest, then perhaps you are consciously or subconsciously attempting to tell yourself it is time to do more. That being said, you do not have to be anything other than yourself. But if you desire, go for it. Any chance or lack of is superpositionally right, wrong, correct, incorrect, and beyond, and you'll never be able to empirically, factually, and or philosophically truly identify an experience if it is, was, never attempted. Because if an attempt was or is never made, then you could only assume the results of your imagination or something else's experience. Take joy in success or failure, making it a choice, and then keep going from there. Here's an exercise if you really want to test your priorities. Imagine you died right now at this moment. Now you are a ghost and reflecting upon your life, no longer able to interact with it. What are the things you believe would most stick out after your imaginary death? As you contemplate the life you once had, what makes you feel like, I wish I could have done that before, I now couldn't? Go do these things. But also remember, it will be okay if you can't. One moment at a time until you are out of moments. Hypocrites prefer to worship the silent gods whom they can speak of as self-anointed ventriloquists of self-entitlement, even if elected by a group. Selfish tribalism. Free will is the ultimate test of determinism. Once an individual, beyond singular monad or collective holarchy, is within a metaphysical frame of caravanialistic choice, that being is now speaking on behalf of its creator and itself. All individuals will then act, react to, from, with their knowledge and understanding in a place of what is beyond before them in an action of power and selfishness, or communal selflessness, depending upon the self-character, wants, needs, and being. Learning is the process of what you understand, what you retain, and what you can recall. In my opinion, a soulmate is metaphysically and socially anyone or anything that your soul, influential being, has connected with directly or indirectly in shaping with who or what you are. Some of these mates have more or less interactions with or effect than others, but no matter what size or amount of interaction, their influence is irremovable. E.g., anyone reading this message is a soulmate, as you can never unread these words, and they are now part of our influential soul beings forever, thus quantumly linking our souls together throughout time and space. So, if you withhold yourself by reserving time and space from only one singular romantic or fantasy soulmate, you'll miss out on some incredible soul opportunities. Che Holloway. Why is it always people you support believe in you and build up the most that always end up trying to compete with you, misunderstanding you, trash talking you, and stabbing you in the back. Asking for me, I apologize if anyone feels like this was my energy at some point in life. I get it. This is why I'm an introvert. Humans are messy. Playing the oblivious fools gets exhausting sometimes. Sean Penalver. It is a funk lesson in character and being. Take what you learn from the experience, reassess, reapply, re-examine, re-execute, reevaluate, and repeat. Take the time to be alone and think, but also take time to socially reach the next life challenge of your character. If you withhold yourself introvertly within a constant zone of comfort, you'll have a much harder time doing all of this. Gotta grow with the universe, level up together. Become introspective rather than introverted. An oblivious fool is never exhausted. I'm going to read that again. An oblivious fool is never exhausted. It is the thinker that has the ability to exhaust themselves. I'd expand on this more, but I'm in a hurry. Feel free to ask questions, and I'll be back when I can. August 18th, 2024. Additionally, we end up challenging those in our lives and those we love most because everything else isn't around as much to be challenged and or challenge us. Che Holloway. I appreciate this. I'm always learning and growing. Sean Penalver. Arguably the best way to expand your existence across time. Sometimes people can only focus on or remember the suffering they felt when experiencing, teaching, learning, challenging moments in life and or especially trauma. For example, a child or adult being mad at their parents for not catching them when they fall, when learning to walk or how to ride a bike, rather than introspectively assessing the next constructive action within themselves for themselves. Asking, why did I fall? What can I do to prevent that? Rather than, I keep falling because of this stupid bike and your pressure to make me learn how to ride it. Some humans never grow out of this. April 20th, 2024. Especially for trauma that is much worse. The individual has to concern itself more on the survival than the individuation. In Hindu psychology, it is said that when you have a trauma that you must overcome personally, then you would be individuating. But when you have an archetypal defense activated, then you are meant to help humanity individuate. Then your task becomes beyond the personal realm and it becomes a karmic task to help with the individuation of the community. Jungian Thology podcast episode, Early Trauma and Dreams, Archetypal Defense of Personal Spirit. So my thoughts are that when these powerful or overwhelming events happen in our lives, we become stuck within the self and must overcome our past self-experience by becoming one with the eternal selfless. As yourself, itself, funk. Philosophical engineering and the understanding of improving upon what works. If it works, whether efficiently or inefficiently, and or only acts as productive, then what is the next action to take? And when to settle on results, if ever? Yes, and if this, then what? Thesis, antithesis, or synthesis? Almost bit my tongue. April 15th, 2022. The following forum/thread was archived and can be found at the link below. What I've included below was being copied and pasted at the time of its happening, March 15th, 2023. I have included it in this treatise as examples of how people react to the information when presented with it, how I was able to present it then, and as a comparison to how much time has evolved in presentation and knowledge understanding over time. I will also leave these parts within the form mostly unedited to further showcase the differences between then versus now. These were foundational, structural moments, interactions, ideas, and influences leading up to the present/future. Sunday, December 8th, 2019. Welcome to The Funk. What if I told you, with after 29 years of personal individual study, I have perhaps calculated the meaning of life? You are now reading it in my postulations, and it is known to be both true and false and every other variable that you are able to understand. To my study, by me now posting this information, here you are now receiving it and are able to process the information, and we are able to now further gather the data. Good morning. What are you currently listening to or experiencing? April 21st, 2022. Only Shallow by My Bloody Valentine plays paired with Parability. Link below. Do I currently feel shallow, then or now looking back at then? As I continue to grow, it ranges from less and less to more and or less. The above introduction was expressed by a different me with less information and experience than I, you, or we now have in the future. These days, I would say I have observed through experience a meaning of life reality and would like to discuss with you the continuously expanding ideas, experiences that we have collected together as groups and individuals. And if you are reading or experiencing these sentences, you are in a direct intersection of the answers and futures of life reality within and without our futures. We have hit save within a reality we once perceived as unsavable. Is this a shallow thing to say? Are we occasionally shallow when speaking and existing? Yes, but I am at least attempting to not be and to hold, and be held accountable by myself and others. Sense by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard plays paired with Parability. Link below. April 20th, 2024. Sometimes when looking back, I get that eye-rolling feeling of cringe at my yaw, like many of us do, wishing that I had a level of experience that I do now, that I had been able to express myself much more clearly, but these events had to happen to get us where we are now, and that retrospective cycle of evolution or growth will always continue no matter who or what you are, regardless of how much you understand. Each yaw is a direct part of the resulting who or what we are today. And we are presently becoming our future yaws right now as we caravanially transition through funk. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 449. What are you listening to? April 21st, 2022, Paranoid Android by Radiohead. Link below. Plays paired with Parability. April 21st, 2022, Sense by King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard, continues to play paired with Parability. Link below. Sometimes funk doesn't make any sense, and sometimes it understands itself a bit more. Gonna take a break and finish listening to Parability, gather thoughts and experience, process and sleep. Moments will pass, and even if I don't return, both here and there, things continue. All of the links below. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 502. Further proof of point, wonderful. Thank you for your attribution. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 505. Lyrics for reference. Don't be afraid of the dark. Don't fear what you cannot see. I'll guide you through the maze. You can trust me. Don't be scared of the unknown. I've got the answers written down. It's really very simple and so profound. There's a universal truth right here for you. Don't be afraid of dying. There's a better state than this. I can take you there. It's a promise. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 542. Tekken World Tourney, hoping the Packies don't win the whole fucking thing. Brother Kilburn, 12/8/19, 544. Sounds like one big funky ball of teats. Link below. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 605. Your response is an example of observable pattern. I am proposing you interpreted what I stated and just added to it, thus expanding, theoretically proving my theory, while also still not. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 606. What inspired this response? Asking for further collection of data. Friday, April 22nd, 2022, sending to Stephen West. Hello, Stephen. Hope you are well. Thank you for being who you are and what you do. Brother Kilburn, 12/8/19, 609. No. See the clip? That is the funk. You are just a jive turkey. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 612. Link below. Anonymous, 12/8/19. All of this is true. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 618. Link below. It's a screenshot. There's the screenshot. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 618. Very relevant. I love Depeche Mode. I hadn't heard this track before. And my research is now continuously proving to be true as you and we attributed to its further enjoyment and expansion. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 619. Is this an advertisement for a Bandcamp album? Anonymous, 12/8/19, 620. Can you expand on the idea of calculating the meaning of life? My therapist advised me that life's meanings cannot be calculated in the mind. It can only be allowed to find you through opening up to it. Anonymous, 622, 12/8/19. What are you currently listening to? Link below. Let's make this a comfy thread. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 623. This is too difficult for me to understand currently. Could you help transcribe the information to me? Very quiet. Anonymous, 12/8/19, 624. This is actually boring. Anonymous, 12/8/19/629. Very relevant to this pattern. Thanks for adding to the understanding of it and everything up to this point of now. Anonymous 12/8/19/631. Really enjoyed this track as well. Bless music and you and their creation of this moment and the way it relates to us. Anonymous 12/8/19/634. This is you denying the information access to yourself. It is your experience, what it is to you and us and we. And the patterns I have calculated have told me that you and many others will say what you just transmitted. Anonymous 12/8/19/637. Yes, you experience boring, but it is now still a part of what you and everything else that exists from this point on. Anonymous 12/8/19/639. OP, a little indulgence. Anonymous 12/8/19/644. Yes and no. I myself do produce music, and those sounds can be found on Bandcamp and all other streaming platforms or future collections of data as Who to Thunk across the internet and The Funk if you are interested. Additionally, your statement was also an extensional advertisement for Bandcamp itself, and also is what I'm saying, Bandcamp has reached and influenced us and will always continue to do so and not to do so. Anonymous 12/18/646. Yes, I can, and also can you. You are right. I am right. Your doctor is right, and you are connecting to that calculation right now. As I understand, I am sending information to you, and then you back to me. Anonymous 12/8/19/651. Just posted a response and am now responding again with the post. Do you need more information to understand? If so, it is easily able to be transferred to you while also being in an effort of building upon itself to be more understandable. Closer and closer, everyone reading this will eventually understand if they make an attempt to do so. Anonymous 12/8/19/655. I am very interested in this info if you really do have what you claim. Anonymous 12/8/19/7 You are now connected into the funk. Do you have a question? How may I, or potentially someone or something within the funk, assist you? Interact in any way for confirmation. Anonymous 12/8/19/706. Well, for starters, what is the funk? I'm assuming it's something to do with music. Morianan 12/8/19. What are you currently listening to? The ominous sound my neighbor's fridge makes. Or experiencing. A black Dunhill cig after a hot shower, nice feels. So why do you look so much into the meaning of life? Can't you be a normal schizo that browses, insert, like the rest of us? Anonymous 12/8/19/708. Seems like many people have a different name for it. Are you looking for useless information? Anonymous 12/8/19/731. The funk is what you are experiencing as you interpret this information. And yes, you are correct to have that thought. Music and sound exist in this equation, and I can give you many examples of it, so you to I, and if you observe enough of it, understand it closer and closer. We are currently at that point of meeting a continuation. Congrats, y'all. We have accomplished the collective omnipresence. Welcome to my world. So I just finished reading my excerpts as assigned, and now I am giving my honest opinions and thoughts on my interpretation of how the book read, or I guess the story read, the content, and then of course any critiques. I guess I am by no means an author or writer or even a smart enough person to form a cohesive sentence without rambling, so this, bear with me. The first chunk of it was an analogy of how bands can become successful and maintain success, I guess musical groups as well. And reading it, it immediately made me think of the Fugees and Lauryn Hill when they made Killing Them Softly. It was a stupid, psycho, gigantic smash hit that she took 100% credit for and decided that because she had the lead vocals on it, that she deserved all of the accolades and like 90% of the profits that came from the smash hit. And it doesn't work like that. When you're in a band, every small detail counts. Nobody thinks about the screw that's holding up the stage lighting, but if it wasn't there, uh-oh. Yeah, Lauryn Hill, I don't think that that song would have been the same without her, but would it have been the same without Wyclef Jean coming in with the backup vocals? So I agree with that, you got to worry about the smallest detail and make sure that everybody is happy and everybody gets an equal share if they're doing an equal part. And showing up and being a part of the community and giving energy is an equal part. The next part that I really did like was write it down when you think about it. I make a bunch of TikToks and I have a bad habit of having an idea and going, okay, I will do that later. And then I'll spend the rest of the day tweaking and cutting and shaving and editing in my head before I even record it and changing it from what it originally was. Is it better? Possibly, but is it the initial thought? Kind of, sort of. You can't really determine that because I didn't record it at the time. So when you're in the moment, you're in the now, it is best to just exist in the now. The future will be there eventually, and when you're too busy worried about the future, you already missed it in the past. One thing that I identified with this entire story was the way it read. And I told my wife, it reads like a very smart person had a very good idea and had to get it out on paper as quickly as possible before they lost their train of thought. Again, my TikToks are like that. I just go bleh, and here's my ideas, and hopefully it forms a coherent thought. So I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the read. The one thing I don't agree with, I guess, I don't want to say I don't agree because I didn't disagree with any of it. I didn't identify with was worrying about being in the now and being in the funk, as it were, and every moment is an existential lesson, and it really is. But if I made that a conscious thought, I would be too busy worrying about, oh, I should memorialize this and I should enjoy this moment instead of actually enjoying it. Imagine you eating literally every piece of food with the thought of this is the last time you'll get to eat it. Eventually you'll stop enjoying it because you're too focused on this is the last one. You can't do that. Just enjoy life. Just enjoy the way it runs. And again, I'm beginning to ramble, so you see me getting fidgety. The soulmates. Strong term. I agree, though. We all interact with each other and we change each other in such small, minute details that one conversation can change you as a person, can change them as a person. And you wouldn't even realize it because it was so menial, but you're walking down the street and you realize that you don't realize that you changed the way you speak, that you changed the way you think in one way or another. And it's because of that conversation that you had 6 months ago with Trevor down the street. It's like, oh shit, I'd never realized. So I did enjoy it. It was fun. Jesus Christ, this was a hard thing to record. When I send it to you, 18 minutes, and you'll see cuts, some of them good, some of them bad. I was going to heavily edit it heavier, but I decided to live in the now and be a part of the funk and let y'all see how my development went, even in the 20 minutes of recording that I did, which was really more of an hour, and this is what you got. That was the best pieces of it. I made sure that what I read and what I recorded lined up and was succinct. I will not be watching it in its entirety because if I do, I'll get self-conscious and I'll delete it. I'm not going to do that. I want to give it to you as it was. I hope I kept the intention of what you were asking for, and I hope I captured the heart of it. But long story short, to be a part of the funk is to just be a part of existence and to inject yourself into the universe and let the universe into you so you can, grow, continue with it. You can affect it yourself. It just happens. We're all basically fungi that exist, and we all share a root system. I hope that this is what you were looking for. I'm sorry you had to listen to 18 minutes of me pick through words and try and say, cavernistically. I had to stop and Google that. Even Google didn't know what that word was, so good on you, sir, you thesaurus, you. If I need to do something different, let me know.